What's up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And we are going to talk strategy post-Spiderman drop. And I'm going to share my thoughts and some advice, which is not financial advice. You do your own thing. And we're going to talk about risk management, having a good risk management strategy so you don't end up broke and getting over exuberant, as we all have been diving headfirst into this VeVe game. But we need to make sure that you have an end game in plan, an end game in place, end game in plan. What am I talking about here? I need to drink some more coffee. All right, so what I'm going to do is talk about some trends, and I've been tracking price trends on certain items that I'm following. I can't do them all. If you want to see the most comprehensive report that is out there, I recommend the Rebel Duck. Get on Rebel Duck's channel and subscribe. You need to watch all of his videos. He breaks down all of the items, comprehensive across the board in groups, and he gives you the floor prices, the ceiling prices, and he also even gives you the standard deviation, which is a very important number that you need to take into consideration, that gives you the variance of, say, how far up or down that you expect these things to move as we go through all these different things like new drops coming out, market prices changing, the trends, what's happening in crypto, or just, the world economy as a whole. There are lots of different factors that affect these market prices. And then we're going to talk about the strategy that I'm using, and it is now official. I am finally at a point where I can say I have strategy 2.0 in place. I'm going to share with you what I am doing. So let's just get started with this little graph that I have here. This is my spreadsheet. And again, I'm not tracking everything. These are just certain items that I'm buying and selling, and I'll cover some more pricing trends of things that you don't see on these graphs. And so this dates back. I started tracking back on July 7th and then through the current date. And there's little gaps in here where I got busy at certain times and I wasn't able to fill those prices in. But I'm going to be able to go back and fill those in once I catch up on the Rebel Duck reports, because he has all of the prices on the daily. So here's what we notice. I've got the last 3 days here coming up to the drop, the day before, the day of the drop, and of course the week before the Spider-Man drop, we saw the prices taking a nosedive on the market, on the app. Everyone was so excited about the Spider-Man drop and how big it was going to be, and Marvel month coming up, that they were selling everything willy-nilly. Now, I would say that the majority of people that were selling on the market were going overboard, because you cannot sell everything at a fire sale price, lowball price, to jump on the newest, latest, greatest, shiny thing, and then expect to come out ahead in the long run, because you're getting rid of your collection and then you're losing money loading up on the new stuff, only to repeat that same process when the Hulk comes out, or when Star Trek or Star Wars. Boy, when Star Wars happens, just imagine what is going to happen to the market prices. So let's look at these graphs. We see that, say, for instance, Slimer starting out in the 90s and up above 100 way back in history, and then coming to the drop here, we see right here, look at the graph there. Nosedive and a bottom point at 52. And then immediately, as soon as that drop is over, we're in the aftermath now. We see a bounce on everything. So this is good, because this is data that you can use to tweak your strategy, because now we see something that is very predictable. When a major drop comes out, people sell everything. If it's, say, a moderate or a minor drop, or something like Mermicornos, Unicornos, where people just don't know that brand, we don't see this type of behavior going on with the market. We see some amount of selling on every drop, but nothing like what we just saw on the Spider-Man drop. So let's just run down the list and look at the few things that it's just so surprising. I remember Ghost Trap. People were arguing and discussing on Twitter and in the group, saying that Ghost Trap will never go below 800 gems. No way. And then when it dropped to 700, oh no, it'll never go below 700. And we see that the bottom point was 375 and it has already bounced back to 599. The next big drop, this is a target for an arbitrage opportunity. For you flippers out there, this is gold. When you have a variance this big for a major item like Ghost Trap, an ultra rare, where you can buy at 375 pre-drop, and then it bounces back up to its average value of 700 to 800, that's more than doubling your supply. Now, Ghostbusters 1 logo, we saw that pushing upwards of 400 gems and it bottomed out at 185. The day of the drop, it settled at 200 and we're up to 235 and climbing. Stay Puffed went pretty solid. I didn't see as big of a drop with Stay Puffed, which is good because I'm expecting to cash in when the movie comes out. We had 155, and we're actually lower now than we were pre-drop. Ecto 1 bottomed out at 135. I should have bought that and added to my collection at that point, and we see that it's bounced back nicely at 175. The Backstab Labbit, $6.99, bottom price, $7.40. We're sitting at $7.89. So that's not as great of an opportunity. It was more solid. So if you are a flipper, the Ghost Trap is the golden item. In fact, I don't think I saw anything else out there with the ultra rares or even secret rare that had that big of a dump and a return is what we had right there. Okay, Choice Cuts, 31 was the bottom. We're back up to 41. Red Labbit, it's pretty solid. 56 was the bottom, 62, bouncing back at 75. Mustache went as low as 25. Not bad. And then we've bounced back to 33. The hoverboard, Marty, has done pretty good, where it was averaging 40 to 50. I think 55 was the high point, and then we dipped down to 34. We're back to 44. Pitbull, I snagged a Pitbull the night before at the bottom at 132. We're back to 140. We've seen it as high as 180. If it can get above 200, that one's getting sold. I will not hold on to it, and that will be on the list along with Ghost Trap on items that I will flip. Now, when you're flipping, you have to ignore the people who say, oh, the paper hands, you sell now, you're going to regret it years down the road. Well, listen here. In a few years, these things will be at an enormously high value. There's no doubt about that. But we're going to have several monumental drops where we're going to have bottom points where you'll have plenty of opportunities to grab those things back and increase your gem count. So you have to just turn a deaf ear to the people that are saying that you have weak paper hands. I don't understand all that talk anyway. I'm a trader. I trade crypto. I trade VeVe NFTs. And so I'm not so concerned with the peer pressure of those who say hodl forever and never sell, and they get angry, actually angry at the people who will sell. So you can waste your energy getting mad at people who sell, or you can be smart and realize this: no matter how mad you get or how much that you want to call people paper hands and get angry, they're going to sell. That is fact, period. It's human nature. So you can either accept that and profit from it and still end up with the same items later on and more gems, or you can hold all the way through and watch this stuff like the Ghost Trap dipping down to 375 and popping back up to 700 or 800. Question mark was pretty solid. 36 was the low, back to 38. Rising Sun dipped to 20. It's back to 27. No Tech is still not performing. We were as low as 13 before. It went to 15, only dipped to 14, back to 15. Superman was pretty volatile, down to 338, and that's another one where people said, Superman will never go down below 500 ever again. So I still have not picked one up because I don't see the leverage of it just yet. I do want to end up with one later on, but I'm still mad about the fact that I didn't get one on that drop. I missed that drop completely. Mira, pretty solid. 57 was the low, then 60 up to 69. Count Calorie had a nice moderate dip to 275, back to 305, and then into the Batman Black and White. I watch these a lot. Todd McFarlane dropping to 499, back above 580, pretty solid. Jim Lee is one that, wow, 145 and then back to 169. We've seen this one over 200, so that's a nice flipping opportunity. Brian Brian Bolland, the Penguin, 273 or 237 down to 232, back up to 391. You could pick up a few gems there. Darwin Cook, I just can't talk today. Down to 30, back to 39. Gary Frank, pretty solid. Bruce Tim Harley Quinn, 130. That's not bad. Bouncing up to 160. The Jay Lee went down to 174, back above 189. Dick Sprang, pretty solid. Not too big of a dip. The Joker, 198, and then up to 270. Very nice bounce. It would have been a good one to do an arbitrage on. Robin, downward action to 32, back up to 39, not too monumental. Jason Fabach went to 78. We're back to 109. Becky Cloonan has been all over the place. We had a peak earlier of around, 400, I think, earlier. There it is, 389, 380, 389, 400, 410, 430. 440 was the peak, actually. So imagine if you were able to sell that previously and then jump back in at, say, 300, that's significant enough to take a chance. Joe Mad, now that's another one that got the floor raised, and we saw it dip down to 160, right back to 222. I've got a couple of those. I think I'm going to bounce one and leverage it and keep one just in case. That's my contingency plan. If I've got a couple of them, I can take a chance on one and try to leverage and then let the other ride. So Batman Who Laughs, staying pretty solid there, 34 to 35 and 36. Rise of Ultraman Secret Rare. This is another good one. We've seen it previously above 600, upwards of 650. It was making a nice rebound, 670 in mid-July, and dipped down all the way to 360. Now that is one for the flippers. Already back to 448. Harley Quinn Deluxe 2 dipped down to 76. Back up to 94. In fact, I think when I just checked, it was back to 110. So we'll have to revise that number. The Assassin. This is another one that would be a great opportunity to flip. It bottomed out at 200. I have one of these. Let's see what the peak was. We were above 300. It was at 329, 344. So we dipped all the way to 200, back to 280. That would be a good one to bottom fish. Cthulhu Gold. That's one to watch. We bottomed at 145 and up to 215. In fact, all the items in that whole drop had a lot of volatility. Now, way back when, we were at 310, 280, 305, bouncing around. And here we're back above at 215, and I expect that one to rise back up above to 300. So that's a good one. Book of the Dead bottomed out at 179. And we also know that it was in the 239, 256, 300. It was above 300. That's a good flipper. Dragon Girl Pink, it dropped to 45. It's bouncing back a little bit, but I think this one will be one that will bring high future value. Now, the Silver Black, it bottomed out at 135. That's a good one because when it got the little floor raise, and I don't know if I have it on here, I don't. It was in the 270 was the peak. So let's just look at these graphs from the top to bottom, and we see that there's similarity between all of these where we sailed down going in to the drop and then an immediate bounce back. Now that, my friends, is an opportunity for the flippers. That's it. So the gold medal for volatility goes to Ghost Trap, where we have a range from 375 all the way to in the 800s, and it was 1,000. Remember that when we were first right out of a drop, 1,100 to 1,000, which is another thing that you might do on the popular drops. If you can sell that item quickly right after the drop, get rid of it. It's going to go down because the next time you get a monumental drop, buy it back again, set it aside, keep that for your moon bag. So the moon bag is something that you're going to keep for the future for whenever the prices jump way high. And then the goal would be to build your gems for future drops so you're not dipping into your money. And then also to keep them for when they really rise up for future value, and then making cash along the way is the other thing that you want to do. Now I'm going to pull up my app. Where is it? We'll just jump on the app here and look at some of the things that we're going to look at the Superman or the Spider-Man results. Let's go to Marvel. And I would say that I overreacted to this, and my overall assessment is that most people did. Outside of the ultra rare and the secret rare, this was an overreaction. I thought the uncommon was going to perform like Superman. It did not. So right now, the Spider-Man on the market is sitting at 835 at a low. I kind of thought it would be a little bit higher than that. It's not really holding the value of what I expected. The uncommon, 51.11. It's just above the retail price. I picked up 3 of the uncommon. I had a higher expectation for that, but I can sit on it. I'm not going to be flipping those in the near future. The rare, I did get one rare, and I'm disappointed with the rare. 147. I thought we would be able to push 500, and I listed one on eBay at 350, and I had to revise the price to 150, and I think I'm going to take that auction down. Now, let's move on. Let's see here. Whoops, hit the back button. The common. The common is below retail. And let's just look in here and see if it has sold out yet. No, it is not sold out. So those who predicted that it would not, which was my prediction, you were right. The common is going to be sitting around for a while. Now, this is my concern on the common. The common is in danger right now because when the next drop happens, it could drop down to Batman Who Laughs status. But it's an opportunity to load up on it because the numbers really aren't that bad. 32,000. We've had higher. It's not quite DeLorean common where we had, 64,000, whatever insane number that it was. All right. Now, here is the secret rare. This is the gold medal winner of the drop, where we have a price of $2,877. I was not lucky enough to pull this off, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I was, I would have sold it right away. This will probably hold value, but this would be an opportunity to flip on eBay. Now, when you get on eBay, let me just pull up eBay and we'll look and see what's happening with the current items. Let's just go in here. A little tip, you just type in VeVe NFT, or we'll do VeVe NFT Spider-Man and pull up the items and see what we have. Let's scrunch this in a little bit so we can fit it in. Oh my. All right, uncommon for 80. That's not going to sell. There's mine. 150 is still sitting there. I'm going to take that down. So we've got a lot of listings here that are going on, and a lot of these are not going to sell. And the way that you can assess this, here's my little trick. You're going to want to go to, let's see, where is it out here? We want sold listings. Okay, I found it. It's advanced. It's off to the side. I just didn't have it scrunched in. When you go to advanced, you're going to hit sold listings and hit a search and see what people are really paying for these things. So let's just look. The rare at $219, that's not bad for today. The uncommon at 76, wow, that's not bad. Okay, that's a pretty good price. We got 1,099 on the ultra rare, 1,599, 954, 1,300 with a best offer accepted, a 501 on, wow, no way, a rare for 501. That must have had a really good number. Let's see, 4760, well, really not that great of a number. Or did they sell okay, there we go, a rare plus an uncommon. So that's still a pretty good price. If you group two together, you can get 500 bucks. Now, I put 350 gems down, and I also bought more gems from a friend and ended up spending $550 in preparation for this drop. I went overboard. That was a little bit too much. So what I'm going to have to do to minimize my risk is get some stuff sold on eBay, and I'll probably sell some things and get rid of maybe $500 to $1,000 worth. And then that way I erase that mistake and I still have my Spider-Man items that I can hold for the next drop. Now, there are some nice bounce backs that I did not mention that I'll probably end up selling. I want to go to, let's jump down here to the Toki Doki and show you one that is really doing well, which is the Bellina Rare. at 82. Now, I have a nice little stash of these. I've got 8 of them. So I could get rid of, say, 5 of these and score $400 if they are pulling prices on eBay. Now, the one thing I've noticed, eBay prices are fluctuating, but the sales are not strong. So what you're going to probably want to do is advertise elsewhere. Advertise in the Telegram groups, advertise on YouTube, wherever you want, and tell people, hey, I've got this item out on eBay, and eBay can be your arbitrage opportunity where you will have the safety of eBay being the escrow service, okay? Now, Dragon Girl Silver Black is coming up at 165, and this pretty much is the price that you're going to have to set and go lower in order to get rid of that item on eBay. And then you can expect to pay fees. So on top of the fees, the final value fee plus whatever hidden fees that there might be, you want to make sure that you're taking all that into consideration. Now on the Marvel, keep in mind there's an extra fee. You're going to pay 8%, 8.5% total in gems because they have an extra luxury tax in gems when you're getting rid of these on the market, on the app. Keep that in mind. Some people aren't thinking about that. So if you're going to sell one of these for $1,000, you're going to get, or 1,000 gems, you're going to get an 85 gem tax for selling that item on the app. So keep that in mind. So that is my strategy. I'm going to get some of these auctions on eBay, get my money back, and then wait and see what happens on the next drop. So I would expect that there's going to be more Marvel action this month. We might have a chance at, say, the Hulk or something other that is monumental that will cause another dive on the pricing with the market. And when that happens, I am going to be ready to strike. Will you? Now share your thoughts, share your strategy. Tell me what you plan to do and how you are being safe. Are you being safe with your money? Because we know that until we get to a point where you can cash out gems, convert gems to USD or gems to OMI tokens, you're taking a big chance, a very big chance. Because if we get some black swan event in crypto or the stock market crashes or we run into another pandemic, you never know what could happen to the pricing on the app. And if you came in buying high on the market, secondary, and then we see a big dive that is not because of a new monumental drop, you could find yourself stuck and waiting for a long time. So if you need that money for emergency purposes, you're not going to be able to tap into it. You're going to have to sit and wait. And then you'll be one of the sad sacks that is complaining and crying, saying, I got to sell this for lowball price because my grandma's sick and I got to pay for her doctor visits. Don't be that guy or that girl. Make sure that you keep it safe, have a strategy, and have a risk management plan in place. All right, that's all I've got. Post your comments, and we'll see you next time with an update on the overall market prices. This is Carlton, and I am out.